Do we use the ego to do that? Well, yeah, that's why there's war. That's why there's greed, competition, strife, unfairness, and all that. That's why it's there.
Okay.
Because we use that. Now, if we were just being to being, and truly alive and aware and in that state, there's nothing you'd need from anyone else. Changes the whole dynamic of how you're going to relate. So now it's just two beings constantly expressing back and forth. And there is nothing better than that. When it comes to two people, it's better than sex. It's better than sex ever could be. Is the constant exchange of expression. Because it's basically fortifying that grid, that love grid between living beings. Right? Because that's the power of it. That's where its glue comes from. That's why America survived as long as it did before it fell to pieces. As a free country, doing its thing. Lasted like 20 years. You know, Jefferson died and the whole shit hit the fan. From that point on, it hit the fan pretty hard. Andrew Jackson decimated most of the Indians, right? But it lasted 20 years. We've never seen it. That America that we read about, no one here's ever seen it. It was taken over shortly after all that greatness. Driven back to a conformed state. Like, we're going to come over here and do it differently, right? Religion was not going to be a huge influence in our lives. Right? You know what we learned? Get away from that church, man. They suck. And look, go down the street. That's all you got. Churches and liquor stores. Well, you need both. If you're gonna have one, you definitely need the other. Right? I mean, you would. Because if I went to church, I'd have to go home and drink. Right? And if I drank too much and did something stupid, I'd have to go to church to repent. So they serve each other. Right? So the country lost its way quick. I mean, we're burning witches here, for Christ's sake. How is that not religious? How can you burning witches is totally reeks of religion. Evil. Ah. I actually have a theory about why that happened. Why they burn witches. Because these women were catching on to how stupid these men were. I don't mean this so women like me and men, I don't give a shit if men do or not. It's not that. I really think that they were catching on to men being unfair in their dominating of this life. You're like, that guy's full of shit. So is he, so is the preacher, so is the governor. Shit, they're all full of shit, right? So when the woman goes, they're all full of shit, runs off into the woods, she's just going to live according to what is right here. Right? And they did. Well, the problem with that is if all the women left, that'd be great, because all these guys, they're kind of like each other anyway. They really do. They adore each other. Treat their wives like shit, but they really love each other. The men's clubs, right? They will never betray each other. But the wife, oh yes. So, think about that. These guys are not normal men. They're kind of queer. Not gay. Not homosexual. Queer. There's a queerness. You know, it's what makes Larry Craig go into an airport bathroom to get laid. That's queer. There's something weird there. You know, it's like if you like guys, you go out and you date a guy and then you go home with, like normal people do. You don't go freaking off in this weird spot. It's just how they play. That's the way they are. You can't trust them at all. They're not present. They're insane. But these women figured that out. here's where the real problem came in. Men love women, and they're going to follow them. What do you think Eve in the Bible was the one that was chastised? They both ate the damn thing. Come on. She made me do it. Really? I mean, you're in a male-dominated society. Really? Right? But the woman caught on. So, but the problem, and that's the problem. Men follow women. Right? You know it's true. You know it's true. You women might not know it's true. But us men know that's true. Yes. Wherever the women go is where we go. If they aren't happy, nor are we. So they crack down on the women in a way to subdue the men. By saying, look, if you don't allow this to go on, we're just going to kill them. Everybody straightens up. Women, okay, you are my God. The man is my God. All right, and women live with that for a long time. Because in this whole thing that's going on. These are some of the things that were done to take you further, and further away from the present moment. I mean, who has the bright idea to drop a nuclear bomb? Hey, I think we should drop a nuclear bomb on somebody. Really? I mean, think about that. That shit happens to keep it for no other reason than to take you out of the present moment. That's where the power is, in the present. As long as you're not there, you're powerless. And the minute you start gravitating back there, we're going to give you some kind of event to shake you back out of it and become afraid again. Because the ego is dominated by fear. It's like crack cocaine for the ego. Fear is. It loves it. It will never let it go. It loves it. It loves the buzz of it. But that keeps you out of the present moment. But all these events, what they're for. It's not, well, you know, this guy was being out of nowhere. This guy was being bad, so we had to go in and take his country. Out of nowhere? Hitler came out of nowhere? I mean, he wasn't sitting there doing that all those years leading up to what he did. Really? He wasn't doing that? Out of nowhere? Right? If anybody was present, if they could have been, they would have seen it happen. All the shit that goes on in your life, they go, God damn it, why does this keep happening? Because you're not there to make sure it doesn't. You won't go there. There are certain vibrations within you that you refuse to be present for. Well, suck it up, because you're going to be stuck there for eternity if you don't do something about it. There is something in everybody that causes them to check out, to not be conscious and allow shit to happen to them instead of them being an expressive, creative being doing that. You know, it really sucks running around a planet full of victims. I just want to have a good time. Come on, guys. What are you doing? Everybody can win. Yeah, there's enough care to go around for everybody. There's enough food. Right? There's enough willingness to try to make someone else's day instead of your own. And a lot of people. Right? And all the talk of it won't do anything. You know, I thought of writing a book. I'm like, why? Someone already has. Where does this thing actually start? Right? This great change everybody talks about. Oh, it's coming, 2012. It's going to be great change. Harmonic convergence. Woohoo! What is all that going to do?